up to this point we have used default dimension style to create our dimension. So now we will learn about creating our own dimension style. So for that I will go to this annotate tab, and now I will click this drop down here. You will notice that we have this ISO 25 and also this annotative dimension style. These two are the default value which will always present in your drawing. So in order to create a new dimension style, click on this manage dimension styles. Now the dimension style manager window will pop up, and it will have two dimension styles which we have already seen. So when you switch these two dimension, you will see its preview in this preview box. We will learn this annotative feature later on, but for now I will select ISO 25 dimension style, and now let's click on new to create new dimension style, which is a complete copy of this ISO 25 dimension style. And later on we will modify that dimension style. So I will click on new and I will give it a name. Let's name it our style, and obviously we want to start with ISO 25, and that means we need to copy its dimension style. So we don't want it to be annotative. I will keep this unchecked, then click on continue. We are now into this a new dimension style window. We have lots of tabs here. So this line is symbols, text, primary units, alternate units, tolerances, and all of these tabs can be used to modify different features of dimension and extension lines. So we will focus on some of the frequently used tools of the dimension style. In the upcoming videos, we will look at some of the advanced features of this dimension style. So currently the default dimension style looks like this, and we will use this dimension style to make all of our dimension. So now in order to change the properties of lines such as the dimension line and extension line, we need to use the first tab. When you go to this lines tab, you will see this dimension lines panel, and in this panel all the settings related to this dimension lines and all of these straight dimension lines can be changed. So the first property is color. Let's change to red. As you can see, the dimension line color has been changed. Also you can change the line type and line weight of this red dimension line. Similarly, we have extension line. These are extension lines. You can change its color to green so that we can easily identify. You can obviously change the line type of first extension line and second extension line and line weight. If you want, you can remove the extension lines by clicking on these check boxes, and there are also plenty of options which can be changed depending upon the requirements. Now let's move on to symbols and arrows. Here you will see lots of options. For example, the arrowhead. First we have this closed filled arrowhead. If you want, you can change into any of these arrowheads. I will select this architectural tick. As you can see here, the arrowhead has changed. You also notice that with the change of this first arrowhead, the second was automatically changed. But if you change the second arrowhead, it will not change the first one. Now we have these two different arrowhead, which is obviously very bad practice. You should make both these arrowheads same. Also you can change arrow types of leader line, or you can modify the size of these arrows. You can also select the center mark. So right now a center mark will be placed at the center of these geometries, and a center mark is specified as 2.5. If you want to add line instead of center, you can do that, or you can select none if you don't want any center mark. I will keep it on center mark. Also we have the arc length symbol. If you want it, keep the first and second radio button checked. In this case, the arc length will proceed to text. For this, it will be above the text. And if you don't want the arc symbol, simply select non-radio button. So the arc radio button will not appear when you create an arc length. Now let's go to the text option, and obviously in this case you can change the properties of this dimension text everywhere here. Now we have the text style, which is standard. We will learn more about these styles in the next module. For now, I will just go to this text color and change to yellow. You can also go to the fill color or the background color of the text, change to cyan. As you can see the preview, all the changes are displayed. You can change the text height, and you can even draw a frame around the text. So for the sake of simplicity, I will change the background color to none. We don't want any background color. Also, I will remove this frame around our text. Now you can see that our text is placed above the dimension line, and it can be seen clearly. For this dimension here, it is placed above the dimension line. Also in this case, it is above. If you want to be in the center, or if you want below, you can change from here. Now I have selected center. As you can see here, it is placed at the center. Also for this horizontal text, you can select from here and the view direction left to right, or whatever the direction which you want. Now in this case, text is always aligned with the dimension line. So if the dimension is aligned, the text will be aligned. In this case, it is completely vertical, so the text is also vertical. But if you want the text to remain horizontal in all of the cases, then select the horizontal option. The text will be horizontal in all of these cases. You can also select the ISO standard value, and whatever the ISO standard rules will be applied here. So I will select horizontal as I used most of the cases. And now let's move on to fit tab. In this we will look two important cases. First one is annotative. So if you want to make a dimension style annotative, select this annotative checkbox. And if you want to change the overall scale of dimension, including the dimension, arrows, text, the gap, and all of these parameters, you can simply add a scale. In this case, I will use overall scale of 1. That is default value, and I will not change it for now. In a moment, I will explain this overall scale to understand more clearly. With these changes, press OK, and I will close it. Now we will make our dimension style, but before that, make sure our dimension style is selected. Now open this, select linear dimension, pick first point and second point. As you can see here, we have our style dimension showing all the properties which we applied. Even when you select the radius, it will take the same properties. As you know, we have selected horizontal placement of the text, and as you can see, it is applied here. Also, architectural tick mark is used here, which we selected. Now there are some parameters here in this dimension style which we have not changed. For example, the number of decimal point and also decimal separator, which is comma in this case. So let's change these values, but for that I will create new dimension style. Click this drop down, select manage dimension styles. We already have this our style. I want to create a copy of this. Select it and click new. Change it to our dim style, then select continue. Now we have all the properties completely same. We will change some of the parameters. The first one will be overall scale. I will change overall scale to 2, and all the values including text, arrow, lines will be twice of its original value. So go to primary unit tab. Here you will see the values for the dimensioning format. So in the linear dimension we have selected decimal. If you want to change to architectural, this will be the result. The dimension will be feet and inches. Similarly, you can change to precision from here. To see precision value more clearly, change this to decimal and precision to 2 decimal places, and the dimension will be shown accurately here in the preview. Here we have dimension separator, which is comma. You can change to period or space. In this case, I will choose period. If you want to add prefix or suffix with this dimension, you can do that as well. And let's look angular dimension value now. So in this case, the angular dimension is decimal degrees. You can change to grade, gradient, degree, minutes, seconds, whatever you want. Here the precision is set to 0. Change to 2 point of decimal. Now with these changes I will simply click OK and close it. Now let's make our new dimension, but for that once again I will make sure our dim style is selected. So go to Angular, select it and choose this point and this point. As you can see, the size of this text and the tick mark is twice of its original value, because we have selected the overall scale to 2 units, which is twice of any number given in the scale. Also the decimal separator is point and the angle is shown accurate to 2 decimal point, as we have selected in our dim style. So in this way you can create and add your own dimension styles with different properties in your drawing.